All right, we are live. Welcome to Social Security Influencers number 7. We
Boom.
started in April of 2021, so we've been going a while. I'm very excited. I'm your host, Al Coseglia. We're here on a Saturday afternoon, the early bird special. Thank you to Dante Barnett and Suitman Productions. Suitman produces outstanding shows for all types of comics, generally offering minority and disabled entertainment through podcasts and comedy shows online and live. Today, it's for old people. That's right, you're old. But we're funny. We're funny. So sit back and enjoy the comedy of our talented lineup. We've got Meyer, Janet Stewart, and Tim Ketchersid. They will make you laugh. I'm 72, damn it. My name is Al Coseglia. Al Coseglia. It sounds like Al Caseltzer. Plop, plop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief I is. And tonight's an extra special night for all of us because we get an extra hour of life. What a gift. I was just out in East Texas at the Rio Palm Isle in Longview, historic venue. And the headliner, Eric Eaton, told me, he said, be careful interacting with the audience. They'll all be carrying. You know, and comedy's become a dangerous occupation. You know, I could probably take a slap, maybe a punch, a bottle thrown at me, but a bullet, unless it grazed me. You know, if it grazed me, I'd be on Kimmel. Yeah, the Rio Palm had Jerry Lee Lewis there on the day I was there on October 29th. He was there in 71. I was just there last week. And I'm glad we have an audience like this because usually no one knows who Jerry Lee Lewis is. And he died last week. You know, he kind of died twice. And I want to make sure that he is dead because, you know, I don't want to sound like Joe Biden when he was asking for that dead Congresswoman. Nobody saw that story, I guess, right? The whole political world is crazy, right? I've been watching the January 6th hearings, and I got to tell you, there's just, you know, there's a lot that bothers me, but one thing really stands out. You see these people sitting around at tables, you know, with testifying and the lawyers asking questions. And, you know, one thing just drives me crazy. They never use coasters. I've been hosting a virtual show. Janet and Eve, you're welcome to join us sometime. But last week on Wednesday, we did our 100th show. The oldie mic.
There you go.
The oldest mic on earth. You know why? Because we're old. It's for artists 60 plus years of age. And it's been wonderful. We've created a great community. And this is the second one we've celebrated. We celebrated the 69th, which I do a lot of jokes about, and we celebrated the 100th. The next one we celebrate is going to be 420 in 6 years. We have an over-under on how many of us are going to be around by then. I did achieve one of my 2022 goals at the party. I tripped and hit the floor. The reason it was an achievement was I didn't get injured. It's like incredible. My air conditioning went out a few weeks ago, and in Texas, that's quite dangerous. And my landlord got somebody here really quick, and the AC guy got here and he said, Your landlord's really upset. He told me, you better fix that damn thing. I can't have that old guy die in there. And it's true. At 72, people think you might soon die. My sons took me on a once in a lifetime trip to Amsterdam.
Ooh.
Once in a lifetime. Sounds like a death wish. But Amsterdam has three of my favorite things: tulips, windmills, and prostitutes. I was in Amsterdam. I went to the Easy Times Cafe coffee house and smoked a little weed, got in the cab, asked the guy to take me to the red light district. As I'm getting out of the car, he turns to me and says, I think you should go in. You're old. You won't be back. Cab driver in Amsterdam thinks I'm going to die. So the question is, should I go in or shouldn't I go in? Should I go in or shouldn't I go in? It's a once in a lifetime trip. I went in. I didn't get an STD. I got COVID. Damn Amsterdam strain. With the Amsterdam strain, you don't lose your sense of taste. You're so high, you get the munchies.
Okay.
Runny nose, it's an Uber runny nose. And there's not a damn thing that'll stop it, not even the damn Amsterdam. No, it's a dumb joke. Finally, because it originated in the red light district, the cough is a little bit different. You have a dry, humping cough. All right, to top it all off, this is weird. A local comic, Matt McElhone, he posts on Facebook for my birthday, "You are missed, Al," with a heart emoji. He thinks I'm dead. And if I die, I want to die in Amsterdam, smoking weed on a pile of prostitutes, telling jokes to tulips. That's my goal. Speaking of prostitutes, I have a girlfriend.
Wow.
Yeah, she's wonderful, and we're going steady. And at 72, going steady could mean a lot of different things, but it definitely means I have a healthy prostate. I don't have Parkinson's. Anyway, my girlfriend, she's beautiful. She's got the face of a doll, red hair. Well, she had the face of a doll. She fell last week, gashed open her forehead. Now she looks like Chucky. Chucky, yeah, Chucky. Right in time for Halloween. She walks around the house. Happy Halloween, happy Halloween. I've been married twice. I have 100% divorce rate. Ex-wife this is interesting. Ex-wife number one went to Newman Smith High School in Carrollton, Texas. Ex-wife number two went to Newman Smith High School in Carrollton, Texas. And ex-wife, future number three ex-wife, also goes to Newman Smith High School. Right now. I guess if I had told it right, it might have been funny. So before I met Chucky, I was on all the dating sites. I was on, I tried them all, Tinder, Bumble. I even tried the Mormon site, findyourwives.com. Findyourwives.com. Sick of that. I typed in erotica.com. Up come all the sites. Adult Friend Finder, that's a scam. Ashley Madison, that's a waste. Farmers Only, yeah, you'll find a hoe. I was out on this date with this woman. Let me end on this. And she had bought tickets to the movies. I'm helping her through the door. And as I'm helping her through the door, she says to me, she turns to me and says, really nasty, I don't like to be shepherded. I said, well, then I guess you're not going to get to see my staff. Eve,
Whoa.
I didn't mean to shock you, Eve. You know, it's hard up here at 72 remembering your jokes, as you all know, and hoping you don't repeat yourself. I was on all the dating sites. I was on Tinder, Bumble. I even tried the Mormon site, findyourwives.com. I'm Al Coseglia. Peace out. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're all here. We've got a great show for you. Thank you, guys. All right, we're going to Southern California. So excited she's here. I met her on a virtual show. She has performed in LA, San Diego, and Nashville. Here she is, Janet Stewart.
Janet.
Oh God, yay! I'm here with a bunch of senior, I like to call it mature people. And I just love people in our age group. I do my comedy and I do it with a lot of young people, and I'm always hearing about male body parts. Now, all I want to do is hear that at home, okay? Just at home, please, people, please. But Al, you were talking about Amsterdam, just reminded me of a little story. I was a flight attendant for many, many years, and I decided to take my daughters to Amsterdam. So we get there, and the hotel is like lit up like Santa Town. And I'm thinking, what's going on? Well, it turns out we were staying in the red light district, people. Yeah. Yeah. So I asked the concierge, I said, can you recommend anything that's, to do culturally? And he said, sure. He didn't say sure because it was Amsterdam, but it's my story, right? It's my story. He said, yes. He said, take them to the burlesque show. And I said, is that appropriate for children? And he said, yes. So I have to admit, I was not the greatest mom. I was curious and I thought, I'm taking them, right? So I take them to the burlesque show, and my daughters are about, 6 and 9. And there's ladies swimming half naked in a giant, huge glass bowl. And my little girl looks at me and she goes, Mommy, what's she doing swimming in a martini glass? And I said, honey, she's thirsty. Then she says to me, oh, mommy, she has green hair. I said, of course she does. She's the olive. Anyhow, I actually thought my daughters would go to 4 years to college, we talked about it as a family, but instead they went to 4 years of therapy. I'm telling you, yeah, those girls, they don't text me. They don't even call me. They just ask for money for Venmo. You guys, I thought Venmo was a wine. As I've gotten older, I have a little time to reflect now. And what I have realized about myself, I'm a liar. Yeah, I lie even when I don't even have to. But the thing is that I am an organic liar because I lie naturally. Lying is very good for my marriage because it's necessary, people, to stay married. It actually runs in my family. Yeah, lying runs in my family. I asked my mom once, Mom, why did you marry Dad? And she said, oh, darling, I must tell you, we played bridge. He cheated. Well, that's when I realized lying does equal love. You know, it is the glue that keeps my family stuck together. Now, every celebration, I tell those adult daughters of mine, remember to lie to grandma. Tell her she looks younger than ever and that she's so nice. Now, if one of them says to me, Mom, oh my God, I'm an adult. She still pinches me. That's when I say to them, hey, this is our family. This is my inheritance. Get the hell out there and light a Nana. You know, being older, another really great thing about lying is that it stimulates the brain. I know some of you probably do Sudoku or crossword puzzles. Yeah, okay. Me, I remember 1988, my cousin Irma. Now, her voice sounded like fingernails on a chalkboard, but I said to her, oh, wow, since you got your braces off, you're the spitting image of Christy Brinkley. Now, that is a whole lot harder than remembering a 5-letter word for scope. It's extent, for God's sakes. You know, my husband, he doesn't like it when I lie. I really don't understand this. He lies and he gets paid to do it. Me? But I do want to brag a little bit about myself. Yes, I actually went into labor on a golf course. Luckily, I play golf. I remember that day because my husband, he was focused on getting a birdie, but I was focused on giving birth. Quiet, babe. I am trying to concentrate. Oh. Just, babe, there's water in the car. Now watch this. I'm gonna get a birdie. Okay, obviously I was pretty angry, so I just tapped him on the head with a golf club. Okay, it wasn't quite a tap. But he turned and he looked at me. He was totally freaked out by a little dribble of blood. So he puts me in the golf cart and he's driving and yelling, watch out, coming through, I'm bleeding. I looked at him and I said, well, we get to the hospital, he gets a Mickey Mouse Band-Aid, and I birth a beautiful baby girl. Now, Roger wanted to name her Golf Club, and I said, why not just Club? So we compromised, and we named her Putter. So Roger and I are opposites. I happen to be the slob. It's true. We're like the odd couple. I'm like Oscar. He's like Felix, but he's odd. I actually went into the bedroom the other day. He was color coding my lingerie. Now I know I should be very grateful that he wasn't trying it on. My big fear. That man is going to look better in my panties than I do. But we've been married 34 years.
Wow.
Nice.
That is 34 years. Thank you. It is 34 years of therapy. twice a day. And if it wasn't for lunch, honest, I'd go 3. So I was really proud of myself during COVID. I didn't commit murder. I happen to like divorced people. That's right. When I met Roger, he was divorced. I was so happy. Having ex-wives, you see, that took a lot of pressure off me. Thank you, Al. So much pressure off of me. And guess who introduced me to my husband? My mom. She's even older than us. She's 92, but she takes very good care of herself. She's had 5 facelifts. Well, congratulations, Mom. Now you look 91 and a half. But I like it when she comes home from the hospital because she's got that new mom smell. You know, her name is Angel. She's religious. She takes communion every day, all day. That's a Jack and Coke Christian. Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. Thank you, everyone. I'm Janet Stewart. What a delight today.
All right, let's hear it for Janet Stewart. Way to go, Janet. Beautiful stuff. Love it. You're lucky you had the right audience for Christy Brinkley.
Yeah. Exactly.
Definitely. Even though she was married to Billy Joel, right? Yeah, I don't think most people still know her though, but loved your stuff. Really good. Let's hear it for Janet Stewart.
Thank you.
Janet. All right, we're going to move to the Dallas area. My good friend. He's very funny. Here he is from Farmers Branch, Texas. Tim Ketchersid.
Thanks, Al. Thanks. Janet, you were talking about lying. Our daughter, when she was born, I've got 3 kids. When our daughter was born, she did not know how to swallow. We had to teach her to suckle so she could swallow and eat to survive. But lying, that came naturally to her. I mean, we didn't have to teach her how to be greedy or get jealous or gaslight granny. I mean, before she was potty trained, she's routinely committing 4 of the 7 deadly sins. Crazy. I have been spending a ton of time on Zoom. I don't know about you guys. It's crazy. My little webcam, it adds like 6 inches to my forehead. It makes it look like my eyebrows and my hairline are social distancing. I'm clickbait for people with a thing for cone heads. Obviously, I suffer with male pattern baldness, but it's no big deal, right? I mean, who wouldn't want to have a huge forehead? And although you can't see it, a big old yarmulke-like hair-free zone on the back of my head. It's every young man's dream, really. Hey, Dad, when I grow up, I want to have a comb over just like the Donald. The crazy thing about the male pattern baldness is I can still produce hair. I can produce hair, but only in places where nobody would want it. Like my shoulders, my lower back, my pillowcase. It's very sexy. If all you had to go on was just a glimpse of my unshaved shoulders, you might think growing hair is my superpower. I do carry a personal hair trimmer with me when I go out because in just a few minutes, I could spawn like a 3-inch eyebrow hair. I mean, it's crazy. I'm sitting on these Zoom calls, and I don't know about y'all. I look at myself as much as I look at anybody else. I don't know why. I'm sitting there, and I'm looking, I'm like, I'm starting to get a turkey neck. I mean, I knew there was a jiggle when I jogged, but I thought it was these. Oh, man. the other day I'm on a call and the host muted my video. I don't know. Have you had this happen before? I muted my video. I'm assuming people are distracted by the funhouse forehead, possibly the turkey flap. The email from the HR lady said it was the sports bra. Okay. First of all, it was a tank top. I mean, come on. Oh, I am thankful that the Zoom calls are kind of trailing off a little bit. We're kind of getting back to normal. I will say this. I don't know if y'all stream a lot of stuff on Netflix. It has revolutionized the way I consume content and Cheetos. With Netflix, when my keister hits the couch, it activates my pie hole. If I'm viewing, I'm chewing. It's a serious problem. My wife has started to call them Netflix picnics. People ask me, how's it possible for you to binge 4 solid hours of Tiger King and Tostitos without any of the ugly side effects? How are you doing it? I do have a codependent Netflix partner, Tums. Yeah, I'm convinced that Frito-Lay, Netflix, and Tums are some sort of demonic trinity. I mean, because man, they have done a number on me. I don't know if it's the spawn of like Jenny Craig and Bill Gates. I don't know. I love the Zoom call because you can't see how fat I am. It's one of the most thinning things about this. I love it. Thanks, Al. In person, it's more of a problem. I do struggle with my weight. To try to get a handle on it, I downloaded one of these calorie counting apps. If y'all tried one of these things, is it weird that I lie about how much I've eaten on a calorie counting app that only I can see? Is that weird? Who am I lying to? Seriously. It feels like I've got a bunch of different people living inside of me. Really. I mean, there's the glutton me who can pound a family-sized bag of Cheetos like it's an amuse-bouche. Oh yeah, that was a good start to this season of Cheers, but I got 2 more episodes left to do. I think I'll have me a bowl of chili and some powdered donuts. Maybe get a little white powder to go with the yellow powder. There's the poser me who cooks the books like he's a former Enron executive. Enron executives, Al, were married to Chris Lee Brinkley. This will give you. I don't have any current references. I'm doing my best. There's the flat earther who's living in there who somehow thinks that what the poser records trumps what the glutton actually ate. I think Socrates may have actually said, "Know thyself." This is the guy that did the Mormon dating app, right? Just going for the multiple there. I told my therapist, I'm like, I'm afraid I've got multiple personality disorder. She's like, you're not really smart enough to have multiple personality disorder.
That's good.
She's like, you're messed up, but it's just the one personality. I also sweat a lot. I mean, people think because I sweat a lot, I probably have a really high metabolism rate, but that is not the case. My metabolism rate is more like a hibernating bear than a hummingbird for sure. I got this friend, he reads one article in Men's Health magazine and all of a sudden he's an expert. I don't know if you got friends like this. His name is Dylan. He's like, dude, all you gotta do is eat more meals more often. It'll boost your metabolism and the pounds will just melt away. Like, is that right? I mean, the reason we have so many fat kids in America is because they're not eating often enough. Come on. Oh, Dylan, I don't know what to do. Our fifth grader is 4'10" and he weighs 220 pounds. His body's in starvation mode. You should get him a Happy Meal on the way home from school every day. I'm convinced Dylan thinks Taylor Swift looks like that because she's not Christy Brinkley. Taylor Swift has recorded an album in this century, Al. I mean, I know my current events. No. Oh, this is a crazy world. I did go online the other day. I don't know if you've had this experience. I went online, I filled out some forms, and I set an appointment with my doctor. It was so convenient. But then when I got there, I had to fill out the same forms by hand. That's stupid, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, they confirmed my appointment by email, but I can't get in to see the doctor unless I can balance that clipboard on my knee and handwrite my email address in a 1/2-inch block. It's stupid. Oh, man. By the time I got done, my heart rate and blood pressure were through the roof. I'm trying to explain to the doctor why my vitals are so out of whack. She prescribed some tranquilizers and 6 sessions of anger management. I gave her the name of a 5th grader who could teach a receptionist how to print out the stuff I'd given her online. I was at the doctor's office, real honestly, because of a video my wife had taken in bed. We've been married 41 years.
Ooh.
And I will say this, after 41 years of marriage, making love is a little bit like being TSA pre-check on a flight. It's quicker and easier to get to the gate. You just have to book it at least 72 hours in advance. And you do have to take your shoes off. But my wife says, hey, fella, I took this video in bed. I wanted you to take a look at it. I'm like, I'm up for a movie. I found out I snore. Yeah. Sounded like 2 bears fighting over a deer carcass. I mean, I was getting after it. And then all of a sudden just, nothing, just catatonic for like 26 seconds. I'm not breathing, nothing. And then it's like, sound like a bear hacking up a fur ball. It's really very sweet. Anyway, she's like, you do this all night long. You've got sleep apnea. You've got to get it fixed. And I'm like, okay, everybody knows what the fix for sleep apnea is. I mean, it's not a mystery. I know we live in a polarized culture, with the vaxxers and the anti-vaxxers but on this, everybody agrees on so I go online and I'm see if I can get me some hydrochloroquine. No, I'm trying to get a CPAP machine. I go to Walmart, Amazon, the Russian black market. I mean, you cannot get one of these things without a prescription. I'm like, these things must be dangerous. Research. I can't find one injury, much less a death from a CPAP machine. They're safer than wheelchairs, walkers, catheters, all of which you can get, no questions asked. It's not a problem. I can take you down to Home Depot right now, and for less than $100, I can get you an air compressor that'll blow a nail through a brick wall. You want to get a machine that'll blow air up your nose so your wife can go to sleep? Dude, you're talking about 4 doctor visits, 2 overnight sleep studies, 7 copays to get a prescription so you can shop for one of these things. It's ridiculous. I'm telling you, the Second Amendment is in serious trouble if these gun control people ever hook up with the CPAP lobby. I mean, we won't be able to own more than 25 or 30 handguns apiece, Al. It'll be serious. Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. I am getting to that place where I'm thinking about retirement. And talking with my wife, and she's like, hey, Phil, I think we should sit down with a marriage counselor before we retire. Just make sure our relationship's in a healthy place. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I mean, if I have to sit down with a marriage counselor, I'm not going to stop working. I mean, so we're at the counselor's office, and before we came in, she wanted us to take a personality assessment. Have y'all done one of these? You know, like a
Mhm.
Myers-Briggs or something? When early in my career, I did the Myers-Briggs, and go in to see the consultant after I do this thing. It's where you answer like 100 would you rather questions so a stranger can tell you what your wife and friends are afraid to tell you. You know, ridiculous. I sit down with the consultant. He's like, oh, well, hey, Tim, this says that you are an ENTJ. I'm like, I don't think so. He says, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm straight. He's like, no, this is not sexual orientation, it's personality. I'm like, oh, all the initials confuse me. He's like, well, you know, really, an ENTJ, that's rare. I'm like, oh, you mean like rare like a diamond? He's like, not so much rare as like peculiar. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, you know, peculiar, like wasabi. You know, the kind of thing that even the people who like it only want a little bit of it. So needless to say, I'm a little bit skeptical of these personality assessments. I think it's probably because I'm a Sagittarius. I don't know. Anyway, we sat down with this marriage counselor, and she said, okay, now this first assessment, it designates your style as one of 4 different animals. Tim, you're an otter. I'm an otter? What? She said, now, Jeannie, you're a lion. I mean, seriously? What is going on? And she goes, well, no, I'm like, Tim, these are not value statements. One animal is not better than the other. They're equal. And I'm like, seriously? She's the queen of the jungle. I'm a weasel that can swim. I mean, it seems like maybe they're different. I mean, come on. She goes, okay. Now this next assessment is the Enneagram, and it designates your style as it's a number, and all the numbers are equal. I'm like, well, this chick's not good at math either. I mean, come on, all the numbers are equal. What? She's like, now, Tim, you're a number 2. You're number 2. I'm like, I'm number 2. I hope you mean like a yellow pencil, because otherwise I don't know of a good number 2. She goes, no, 2 is good. It just means that you're a helper. You're a helper. Now, Jeannie, you're a 3. That means you're an achiever. I'm like, come on. She is an achiever lion. I'm a wasabi helper otter. I mean, I don't think I've got the energy to retire and be married full time. Guys, that is all for me. Thanks for having me.
Let's hear it
Been
for
fun.
Tim Ketchersid. Beautiful stuff, Tim. I got to ask you though, when you eat your Cheetos, when you're watching, how do you use your remote?
We have a voice activated system.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I should probably get one of those. Eating Cheetos and using a remote is pretty tough. Or even a keyboard.
I just settle on a channel and leave it. I'm not
Is that
not a
right?
server.
Because you're so busy eating, I think.
Yeah, that's right. It's more about the
And I noticed you also went 2022 with clickbait. You used the phrase clickbait.
Correct.
That's a 2022 phrase.
Is it?
Yeah, you're not allowed to use that on Social Security influencer shows. Nothing current. You can't do any current events.
Okay. Was Taylor Swift over the line?
Taylor Swift was not. She has. But you know,
Okay.
I do a Sheena Easton comparison. With,
I should have used Sheena Easton.
Yeah, Sheena Easton.
Okay.
Only this group would know who Sheena Easton is.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, let's hear it for him. Tim Ketchersid. Great stuff, Tim. Very, very funny. All right, which you are closer. This has moved along like nobody's business. Really well done. Funny stuff. Let's get to our closer. She is from the San Francisco area. She lives there. She spent 30 years heading up a suicide crisis line.
Wow.
Awesome.
So she came to her senses and went into comedy. Here she is, Eve Meyer. Glad you-
Eve,
Hey, big hand for Coseglia.
Yeah.
Al, I got a question. How is our sex tape doing? I don't see it anywhere. Does it need more marketing or something? It just is not doing well. I thought it would be viral by now. Honestly. Hello, everybody out there in the world having coffee. Do you need a second coffee or something? Rush around, get really comfortable. We're going to have fun. I am here today representing your oldest living female identified relative. She wants you to call her. And I'm also here because there are very few women who are 80 years old who are comics. And so I thought that was a niche, and I'm filling it. But truthfully, I am here because I wanted it to be. 5 years ago, I retired. And when I did, I tried to figure out, there were 20 years I figured I was still going to live. And I thought to myself, what am I going to do for 20 years? And I asked people, and they said, oh, there's pickleball and chair yoga, astronomy classes, book clubs. They all sounded like comedy was going to be a lot better. First of all, you didn't need to go to graduate school in order to do this. You didn't need to pass the bar. In fact, you could walk straight up to the bar and sit down and have a drink. So it sounded like the perfect kind of thing for me to do. Mostly, I liked how much it was going to be like a dancing doll. You know, nobody asks how well a dancing doll can dance. They don't say, can it do the cha-cha? No, they say, farting out. This dog dances. So that sounded like the kind of thing for me. And also, there's such a lot to talk about when you're old. Am I right about this? I mean, it's just weird being older. My life was weird when I was young and I was looking for a relationship. And it got weird when I had a child when I was 50 and he thought I was his grandmother, even though I explained. And everybody's life is weird when you're brushing your teeth, am I right? But older life, it's so unpredictable. I used to have a British motor car. And when you put the key into it, 2 of its electrical functions would turn on randomly. And 2 of them would turn on randomly. Being old and having a body is just like that. You get up in the morning and some sensory or motor or organ function turns off, even though you've been living a healthy life. And then something turns on again, even though you have an appointment with a doctor today to fix that. And you scheduled it months ago. So I have been talking about what the experience of being older is like, and people have had to listen to me. And I'm trying to educate them ahead of time. Because you become the consummate consumer of healthcare services. I have worn out a path from my house to the Kaiser Hospital that is just a few blocks away, the way I wore out a path from my office to the Nordstrom rack that was a few blocks away when I was working. And I find out when I get to the hospital that the healthcare practitioners have these biases about 80-year-old women. Like I sit down with a healthcare professional and they look at me and they don't realize anything about me. Like I like to smoke cigarettes. No, I love to smoke cigarettes. And they sit down and their computer screen has my healthcare record on it, which says in red letters, underlined with green, smokes cigarettes. And what is the first thing they say to me? Do you smoke cigarettes? So I say to them nowadays, I say, yes, I do smoke cigarettes, but sweetie, I'm so sorry. I didn't bring any for you. Just being older doesn't mean that I know how to crochet or bake cookies. Think about how cheated all my imaginary future grandchildren are going to be. They're not going to get any nice chicken soup. They're not going to get nice cookies. Instead, they're going to get beanie weenies and Reese's Pieces. And actually, I do have a very good thing I do with fat-free ice cream and sugar-free cookies. I throw them out. And whenever I pass by Nordstrom's perfume counters, all of the associate staff begin to panic. You see this look cross their face. And they gather up all the free samples and they throw them under the counter. And they follow me around like I'm a teenager with a big backpack. They don't need to do that. That's the awful secret. When you get older, women, and men for that matter, have a chemical change on their skin that makes perfumes and lotions smell like kerosene. Remember how awful it was when you were a little kid and your parents wanted you to kiss your elderly relatives? P.U. And so what I do is I go to the grocery and I go to the bakery aisle and I buy flavors. I buy coconut flavoring and vanilla and peppermint and almond. And I wear them in any combination I want to. And then people come up to me and they say, you smell like pie, and you smell like cheesecake, and you smell like pumpkins, and you must have been baking. And they have no idea. We don't bake, I never will. But my face, my poor, poor face. One night, an evil spirit slipped into my bedroom and tore off my face and sold it to Sarah Jessica Parker. It was awful. I left her polite phone messages saying I wanted it back. I sent emails that were polite. I sent urgent text messages. I sent tweets and Snapchats. And now I only hear from her security staff. And they're telling me to cease and desist. And they're serving me with restraining orders. I don't think I will ever see my real face in the mirror again. But I've come up with a workaround. Listen to me. One day I happened to look at a bottle of Pepto-Bismol at the same time as I was looking at my favorite pore minimizer makeup. And the labels resembled each other. Pepto-Bismol. Wow. So that night, I put a small amount of Pepto-Bismol on my face before I put on my makeup. Bingo. A better resemblance to my former face. It only lasted 4 hours. I was Cinderella. But did I tell anybody about this? No, it was my secret. Who would believe me? Today, you are the only other people who know about this. You can do anything you want with this knowledge. And I have my mother's hair. What possessed her to put it in a box and tie it with a ribbon. I have no idea. But people tell me that I don't look like my mother. I look like my father in drag. They are both from the old country. They are from country so old that nobody even remembers its name. But whatever you look like when you are old, being a little old lady means that you have an invisibility cloak, right? You are invisible, especially when you are out in public. Super invisible at an airport or when you're trying to get on an escalator or an elevator. A crowd of people will rush right through you and you're not there. Especially also when you are trying to get coffee from a barista and she is shouting your name. Whoosh for the people. And when a bus is coming, you are also visible and invisible at the same time. The bus driver will see you and he will give you the thumb. That means another bus is coming, and he will shut the door and you are once again invisible because he knows it takes you longer to climb on the bus. So he is going to pretend he never saw you, and he will tell you another bus is coming, which is one of the greatest lies in the universe, especially on a rainy day. And speaking of invisible, why are people inaudible? My husband told me the other day that hope brings a turtle. I was so happy. I thought that was so wonderful. I asked him where we could put it. And he said, put what? And I said, the turtle. And I said, the wonderful turtle that hope brings. And what do we feed it? And you know, he said, that's when people begin to shout at you. He said, the turtle that hope brings, he said, hope springs eternal. And I said, I'm really glad about that because I really want that turtle. And that's when people shout at you and become incoherent. And I think to myself, why don't people come with subtitles? All of the actors on TV have subtitles. You always know what they're saying. Even when they're having sex, it says moaning, heavy breathing. Just saying. So then you go out and you get hearing aids. Okay? Well, the options and the choices and the ranges of opportunity, it's like redoing your kitchen. It's the in the ear, visible, invisible, customized or off the shelf, rechargeable or battery. They look like pink wads of gum once you finish. I got invisible, customized battery hearing aids. And now you have to learn how to operate them. It's like flying a plane. Every morning, you have to stick them in your ears with this funny twisting motion. You can't drop them on the floor because the dog will eat them. And they make this funny chiming noise when you have to change the battery. Why do babies not make chiming noises when they need to be changed? Why do they scream? Anyway, changing a battery is simple and easy. If you have ever put a lentil into the eye of a grasshopper, same thing exactly, with just as much swearing. You also have to change what they call wax guards. Wax guards are teeny weeny white balloons about the size of a pencil tip. Okay, they would make great condoms for field mice or little tiny rats. organize a classroom to teach them how to put them on. And speaking of animals, I live with a dog. He allows me to share his home. And everybody always wants to know, what kind of a dog is this? Because he looks like a loaf of bread with ears and a tail. And this dog is half dachshund, half Labrador retriever. Now you might say to yourself, how did this happen? It happened in the usual way. There was a big party, and his birth parents got really stoned. There was a lot of alcohol, a lot of drugs, a lot of music, and they were young. And then this happened. And the parents on both sides were horrified of pregnancy. They did not know what to do. And these young people, and so they decided the mother should go to San Francisco. It would not be notified there. It's a wild city. People would be very tolerant of this pregnancy in San Francisco. And they had heard that in San Francisco, people would take on puppies as long as they could drink water. And so we wound up with one of these puppies, and the rest is history. But you have to remember to feed them. And memory is one of the problems of being older. I mean, sometimes I don't know where I am from moment to moment. I just have to bump into the wall. And I have dumb conversations with people. Like I bumped into my friend Chris the other day, and I asked her, are you still working at the VA? And she said, I haven't worked at the VA for 25 years. I don't know why you asked me. And I said, all right, no, don't mind this. I just want to do you a favor. You have the wrong name tag on it, says Nancy. And she says, my name is Nancy. I have no idea why you call me Chris all the time. And I said, okay, this is embarrassing. Don't worry about it. At least I know you're a nurse. And she said, no, I am not a nurse. I am a psychologist. Well, she's a nice person, though. But these kinds of conversations you find yourself having all the time when you get older, but they are a good thing. They keep you from having other conversations like Paul Pelosi's pajamas or Elon Musk. We worry about bigger things, more important things. My husband has kidney stones. I won't describe. Kaiser has put him into a kidney stone program. There are meetings. There are blood tests. The meetings have steps. The first step is you have to acknowledge that you are powerless to control your kidney stones, that you are kidney stoner. And it goes on in that vein. And I'm glad that he's in this program because my husband is very important to me. His cooking is the only way that I can control my weight. Stewed fried pork roast, blackened hamburger, deep fried chicken. And that way my stomach can pay attention to my vertebrae and they can all still get along roughly in the same body. I have also learned that you can survive by investing in emotional support jewelry. I've done that. I have a friend who owns the MacGuffin diamond. I asked her, what is that? And she says, it comes with a curse. And I said, what is the curse? And she said, MacGuffin. even my phone is ahead of you, Al. Also, a good reason to survive into old age is that you can get the feeling that you can run somebody else's life because you've lived long enough to learn all these valuable things. So this audience has been so wonderful. I really want to offer anybody the opportunity to have me run their life for them, which I can do way better than running my own life. So I'd love to have coffee with you, tell you how to run your life, even if you don't want me to. And the only thing I would ask from you is that you please help me with mine. Thank you so much. Mwah.
All right, let's hear it for Eve Meyer. You're a delight, Eve. Loved your stuff. Really good. You know, I have old man smell too. But mine is caused by weed. Thank you all for being here, Eve. Thank you so much, Tim, Janet. What a great show! It was
show.
really comfortable, and all of you were very funny. And thank you for being here.
Thank
Enjoy.
you.
Now, thank you, everyone. I loved it.
Thank
It's
you.
fun.
See you soon. Thank you. Thank you to Dante Barnett, Superman Productions, and all he does for different kinds of comics, which we are. We're old. So thank you all. Have a great rest of the weekend.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.